Chef Dyke Michael's making food, and he's making comedy too. Thaddeus J. McKee is co-hosting with the guy I mentioned previously. Sauce Boss Zach's on the 1 to 2, so good he calls them 2s and 3s. And as always, there's a guest who'll be sure to please on Harder Brunch. Harder Brunch. Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the After Brunch podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels, and with me, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
Slappy, bappy, wham, wham.
The 1s and 2s, the Wheels of Steels, the Sauce Boss of Indianapolis, and the Last White Dragon. Give it up for Zach Roan.
Hey there.
And a very special guest. I feel like you're just making this podcast for yourself to listen to as our number one Patreon subscriber.
I am.
Comedian and provocateur Gwen Sungle.
Yes, this is a podcast by me for me.
Also, I always used to think, like, 100% serious at the beginning of that song, that was a Tim the Toolman Taylor. I thought that was
kind of sound
Tim
like
Allen.
that.
I was like, did they sample Tim Allen at the beginning of the song? Like, if you cut that part out and put Tim Allen doing one of his sound effects, I don't think a lot of people would notice the difference.
I mean, I think Nelly might.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
It was like, that's my proprietary. There was a while there in the 90s when weird grunts were in style in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Like Master P did a lot of weird grunts there.
Busta Rhymes did a lot of.
Busta Rhymes, yeah.
Yeah, the grunts and the sounds were it for a while. Like people, I feel like by the 2000s, people started like losing themselves in like the sounds. Yeah, and hip hop started getting lost.
There was barnyard sounds in a few hip hop songs.
Yeah, because you can get real pulled away with the sounds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a sound at one point that was just like, yeah, that was it.
That and it really changed the face of hip hop
for a while.
Mm-hmm. It did.
Crunk. So yeah, really, Crunk really was just the sound effects taking over more so than the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I think that the beat is very unique to Crunk.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Thank you.
A white woman spilling all my knowledge about the Crunk music.
Actually, Crunk music. No, but she's right. It was the vibe. It was the emotion. People would turn up Crunk before they would get in fights. It was really popular fight music.
Yeah, I thought, or like sports teams would really pump up to it or something. It's like preparing you for it. It's like anger musified.
It's not getting ready to water flowers music.
I never wanted a soundtrack of getting my ass whipped. Like, I never wanted to cue those two things up.
Well, it's hard to get your ass kicked to She's Like the Wind. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, no one's but that would also be what is a good song to get your like if you had to pick a song to get beat up to, what would it be?
Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys.
My song?
That's a good one, yeah.
My song is Turn Around. Every now and then I get a yeah, I just want that.
So you went slow song.
If I'm getting my butt kicked.
Yeah. Thank you for using that. Self-censoring.
If I'm getting my hiney whipped.
If someone's tanning my hide.
No, I mean, I don't want something that people could celebrate. I don't want songs that like people like jam out to get my butt whipped. I want it to be like, I want them to feel the sadness too. Like,
I see.
Okay.
Turn around. Like, oh man, he didn't deserve that.
You set it to Kiss from a Rose, Harder Brunch style, and then people are like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this. This is just sad."
Yeah, I don't know if I want a song that I enjoy. Because I don't want to be. What about you, Zach? What would you?
Well, I feel like as long as it wasn't like an 80s pop song or like classical music, because I think anytime those songs come on, it's a psychopath. You know?
Okay.
Like the Huey Lewis and then
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Huey, Dewey, and the Louies.
Huey, Dewey, and Uncle Screwies.
I think any kind of music
American
would kind of
Psycho,
suck to have playing while you were, getting beat up.
Yeah.
I would almost go with like heavy metal music or like maybe some G.G. Allen, something from the G.G. Allen
catalog. Now, is that just the soundtrack or is that playing while they're doing it?
Yeah, they're playing while it's actually happening.
I don't think I want them getting more hyped up. I think I want if it's like Kissed by a Rose, maybe that'll like slow it down a bit. You'll get those like slow swinging hits.
Now that you're roses in bloom.
Maybe a song about friendship.
Right.
Is there any songs about brotherly love?
Ooh, the theme to Friends. Getting beat up to the theme to Friends.
No, I feel like you
I'll
can
be
get tuned
there
up.
for
You can get tuned up. I would tune someone up to that song. I feel like you beat someone with a crowbar to the Friends theme song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
I could.
I mean, that's a different question. Like, what would you want to beat someone up to if you had to pick?
Oh, maybe the Friends theme song. That's a good one. I think the most calming song ever since I was an infant was the theme song to the Love Boat. The Love
that's
Boat.
beautiful.
That's a nice, like, sweet lullaby. I don't think anyone could do violence while the Love Boat theme is playing.
Yeah.
Are you familiar? Can
Love
one of you bring the
One of you with
sound
access.
man? We have two producers in studio now. We have a video producer and an audio producer, and they are working in perfect tandem.
They really are. It's like a well-oiled
Yeah.
machine here at Harder Brunch Studios.
I like when the producer makes a face when he has to look something up.
Yeah.
Like it's like the eye roll. Like it's like wait a
Can't
minute.
believe
You're gonna ask me to do my job.
God damn it! I thought we had somebody else to do this.
So if it's an audio clip, it's specifically you, Zach?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because I'm dialed into the board. And
Yeah.
I'm the goddamn producer.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good to know. It's
Yeah,
good
no,
to know.
I can't pull anything up on my phone. I can't get connection down here.
I feel
that's
like
good.
I
That
feel like
sounds
I'll
like
have a lot of.
So we're almost there.
Oh, there's no Wi-Fi connection in our podcast studio. That's good. That's good. That's good to know.
Professional.
I like that so
Well,
far.
this is week 1, so we'll figure it out.
This is
We'll-
week 2. in
I mean,
your
but the week
studio.
2 of yeah, you're right.
He does keep going with the like. Well, this is our first week in the new podcast studio. I think I'm going to hear that for like 2 months. They'll
Yeah.
be saying that when I come back.
Guys, we're brand new in
Yeah.
this space.
We're
Anytime,
still in the first decade.
anytime I make a mistake at work, I go, "This is my first day, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize."
I used to work with a nurse in the ICU who would tell her all her patients that, and she was like in her late 50s, that she was clearly not her first day there, and she'd be like, "Well, I don't know. This is my first day here."
I would say that if someone died.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You fighting someone to this song?
Wait.
No,
wait.
he's saying he couldn't fight someone.
Yeah,
to
you
this
can't
song.
fight. I think
you
it's
can't-
impossible.
Oh,
Is this love? Exciting and new.
yeah, this wins.
Come aboard.
Hey man, you just want to shake up?
Yeah.
You just want to shake up
Been
instead?
expecting you.
We should run a boat together.
You like barbecue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my bathing suit as underwear.
I loved the concept of the TV show The Love Boat. Like,
Yeah.
there's a boat, there's all these couples that have decided to go on a cruise, and all of them have a problem that gets resolved during the course
On
of
the
their cruise, and everybody leaves more in love than they
That's what happened. That's the magic of the love boat.
knew of the Love Boat.
Yeah, there's a reason they call it the love boat.
I couldn't tell you what happens on a single episode, but I just remember the theme song. I mean, this was out when I was an infant. Like they would turn it up because apparently it was my favorite song, and I would actually get quiet as like
Was it BB?
a little baby, and like I remember them telling me that and thinking like it wasn't like there was YouTube around where they could just play me off to sleep at bedtime. I was like, so you're saying once a week when the show
slept
came
well.
on, you would just hold your baby up to the TV and shut up. Oh, thank God it's Wednesday.
Just the rabbit ears.
It's a terrible plan.
Yeah.
Fire up the clicker.
Yeah, no. I think that was like the idea behind the Love Boat was like, we're all avoiding our problems when we all get out, in a small confined space out on the open seas where there are no laws. We can really solve our problems.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
Oh God, no. It
I know.
sounds-
Well, yeah, a lot of white women end up disappearing on cruises, so I understand. I would.
That just sounds like diarrhea waiting to happen.
I have been on a cruise. There's a lot of waiting.
A lot of waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That
that's
sounds fair.
that's one of your least favorite things is waiting.
Yeah. There's a lot of waiting in line.
A lot of time torture.
Yeah. But it's fun. All you can eat. It appeals to a certain crowd, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think from what I hear, like the quality of the cruise can vary, pretty drastically. But I am not interested in being out in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of 1,000 other white people I don't know.
Welcome to my life.
yeah. And then, as I said, it just seems like a great way to get E. coli.
Would you ever do a comedy cruise as a performer?
I would just because I think that would be fun. Cause you're like, okay, these people.
You have a purpose to be there.
Yeah,
it makes a little bit more sense, and you could almost like play it off if like you. Oh well, I mean, it
was on the Trailer Park Boys cruise, so of course.
What would be your cruise? Like, what fandom would your cruise be?
So, do you guys remember on QVC they used to have this line of clothing called Quackers?
No.
And it was kind of like adult Granimals where like you could mix and match the different things and their little animals applique.
Did you say Granimals?
Yeah.
Those
are children's clothes that are like, so everything that had a giraffe on the tag would match everything that else that had a giraffe on the tag, and like everything with a polar bear on it.
I missed all of this.
It's a thing.
Yeah. So there was this woman who used to put out this line of clothing called Quackers. Okay. And so it was kind of like athleisure for grandmas, for less stylish grandmas. Like I said, with all the applique animals on them and stuff. A lot of those little fuzzy ducklings like falling into a teacup or something like that. And they had this line of clothing was so popular they would have cruises for its enthusiasts. So I think the Quackers Phantom is
Can you look that up?
Where I would land.
What was it called? Granimals?
Granimals, was the children's version of it, and then which this was again when you and I would have been babies is when. But when Granimals would have been.
Who's putting on the cruise? Is Granimals Cruise?
No, Quackers.
Quackers Cruise.
Quackers.
Sorry, Quackers. What a fool I am. Sorry.
So these are some lovely Granimals clothing. You can see it's all very interchangeable, mix and match.
You got so serious. You're like, not Granimals, you fool. It's obviously Quackers.
And the woman who made this popular is unfortunately passed away, but she always wore like a braided sweatband.
In the coffin?
Not in the coffin, like as an alive person.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I went straight to coffin too.
Yeah. I was like, oh no.
There she is, Jane Bice.
Jane Bice, Quacker Cruise 2011.
You see her sweatband there a little lower. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wait. Mm-hmm. So this was, she's already dead. This was a tribute. Oh, no, you could tribute someone that's alive. A tribute and celebration. Is that post-mortem?
She passed away in 2010. So.
Okay.
But I feel like the cruise is still happening.
I was going to say, is it memorial?
And if it's not, then let's start it back up. Quackers fans, rise up and ask me, insist that I am the entertainment on your next cruise.
I just feel like everybody was on there and they you're just at the salad bar and everybody's just like, I just loved her. I just loved her. Like that was the main conversation.
They are, and they're all very comfortable because they're all wearing their Quackers sweats.
What other activities are you doing with just a bunch of people? Are you swapping clothes? Are you trading? Are you having sex? Are you hooking up with people?
I'm picturing like a scrapbooking session. I'm picturing
bingo for sure.
Some chair aerobics, maybe some shuffleboard. Is the Quacker? No, it wasn't like Quackers had its own ship. It was like Quackers takes over a Carnival cruise for a weekend or something.
That's amazing. What would be the worst? You know what actually sounds like it'd be the worst, but I bet it would be the best if they did a Gathering of the Juggalos cruise.
Also, is that Quakers? I think that might be part of the.
What would a Quakers cruise be like?
You churn butter and pray.
Just very quiet.
And you leave with a lot of friends.
To beat your daughters.
Wait, there's
I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. Is there a soundboard for that?
Look at this Quackers. See, it's already sold out.
Well, this is
11 years ago.
Oh no. Can you just throw a 22 on the end of that question, on the end of that Google? Can we get a Quackers Cruise 22? Now I am fully invested. Quackers Cruise 2022. Still happening. Question mark. That was the first option.
Oh, that's the Quaker days. So
Oh,
yeah,
we
I
went
don't
back
think
to
it's
Quakers.
still. I don't
Are
Okay.
we
think.
doing a harder
No,
brunch
you-
cracker cruise?
Can you guys do a harder brunch cruise?
I think we would probably only be like a canoe ride at first right now. I don't know if we had a full
Right.
cruise, but
If it's sponsored, if like there's a
Yeah.
business out there that wants to sponsor,
we're not above it.
No.
Absolutely. I would.
a full 6-person crew at least.
It would. It would
a
just
3-hour tour.
Yeah, because everyone's clamoring for podcasts at sea.
Because of the implication. You know? Again, we're all just trying to get out to sea where there are no laws. The long arm of the law cannot swim.
What was before COVID? There was the other. What was going around the cruise ships that was making everyone have diarrhea?
Oh, I forget. But yeah,
Because they were like,
it was an E. coli type
yeah, it was
based thing. Yeah.
What is it? Get in the water system or something?
Yeah,
Is that what
yeah.
happens? So it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, and then it's also very like hand-to-hand contact and a lot of cruising. I'm Thad, you're the authority on
Well,
this,
yeah,
not me.
as the
There's a lot of
cruise-
touching tongs by multiple people.
Well, yeah, as a cruise expert, we prefer that.
Yeah.
Because it's community. And
You know
I
what?
don't
When you're
know.
right, you're right. Because if there's one place I want to be stuck when I have explosive diarrhea,
Yes.
it is in a
Go
very
on.
small cruise ship
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yes, and that's what we all say.
It is at sea.
It is.
Gwen, we have a couple games.
God.
A couple of. Well, I'm not even sure if they're both games, but we have a couple things lined up for you.
Ooh.
Let me see if
How much do they involve quackers?
I hope 100%. Well, we have one. I know Thad's in a hurry, but Thad, can you stick around? We have
I'm not
we have
in a
another
hurry.
we have another guest.
I'm not in a hurry.
We have
at
another
all.
guest that's going to join us here that wanted to do a presentation of sorts.
Sure. Yeah, I'm here for it.
I mean, do you mind giving up your seat? Is what I'm saying for
Yeah.
for our other guest.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Are you?
Who's the other guest?
Well, are you familiar with the Rocky movies?
Yes.
Well, a friend of the show, Rocky Balboa, he likes to pop in from time to time.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad he could make it.
Yeah, and
Hey, Rocky, it's nice to see you.
he's got some.
Just sit right there.
Oh, hey, Rocky.
Hey, I like the new music. Hey, it's good. Hey, Gwen,
Hey, Rocky. What's up?
big time fan.
I'm a huge fan of yours as well.
Hey, you see my movies, Rocky 2?
I saw them all. I saw
Yeah.
2. I saw 3. I saw 4. Only made it through about 3/4 of the way of 5.
Yeah, how I do, because if you don't like it, I don't like it.
You know what, Rocky? All I can say is I really need your recipe for eggs.
Hey,
Harder
hey,
Brunch needs your recipe for eggs.
You ain't boiled, baby. Hey,
I thought you would traditionally eat them raw.
I am
Just
raw.
a glass full of raw eggs.
Hey, this is like I got to go in the doctor say, got to really eat these boiled. Salmonella.
Salmonella, yeah.
Salmonella.
Salmonella gets you every time.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Nutella with salmon.
So you just, how many boiled eggs do you eat then?
Yeah. I do 40 a day still.
That's good.
Doctors don't like that either, man.
Rocky Balboa steak and eggs.
No, you should see their face. It gets real mean. It's like mean. Like their eyebrows are looking down at you. Like you feel like a little kid the way they look.
40 eggs.
They say 40 eggs.
That's
40 eggs. That's so much.
That's almost 300 eggs, Rocky, a week. Where are you finding 300 eggs a week?
Farmers are mad at me. Farmers are mad because I'm going out and stealing eggs. I don't box no more. I don't know if you heard. I don't box no more. You gotta steal these eggs. Keep my legs fast.
Right.
But they're like 40 eggs, man. You gotta stop. That's my impression of them. You gotta stop, man.
What do the chickens think about?
Oh man. Because after about 23 or 27 eggs, you start hallucinating. So the chickens, they talking to me too. They're like 40 eggs. They're like 40 of my children? You really good? 40 eggs. Wow. Wow.
Did you ever think about maybe cutting back a little bit?
Not really, man.
We should do a 40 egg brunch. Let's see if we can all communally eat that many. Boiled eggs.
Yeah.
I bet I could eat 40 deviled eggs.
Well, that's 80 eggs. No, wait.
It's half an
20.
egg.
That's 20 eggs.
Yeah, it's 20.
I'm doing math wrong.
After 7 more of them, you seeing chickens.
Well, Rocky, I didn't know you could hallucinate from eating boiled eggs.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Now you
Rocky 3 hours hallucinating the whole time on chicken eggs. I was like, Mickey, pass me a fucking chicken egg. He said, you don't got to cuss like that, Rocky. I said, my fucking kids here. I want to fucking cuss if I want. And I usually cuss. You guys know this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and that kind of ties into the theme of your game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's a rating system.
I brought a game today.
What's it? Tell us about the game.
One of my favorite games for Gwen.
For Gwen?
Yeah.
Okay. What we got?
It's
You know how Rocky and I like to get together and play games.
yeah, Gwen likes to play games.
Just we're
I've heard that.
on the steps of the Philadelphia Library, just playing Scrabble and Chinese checkers.
She's a real game head. or game-o. I said game-o one time and it got me in trouble. Remember, we're talking PlayStation games. Anyways, all right, you ready for this game? It's called PG-13 or R.
Oh, okay.
PG-13 or R, Gwen?
Okay, so are these movies rated PG-13 or R?
Yeah, I would.
Is that the concept of the game there, Rocky? I want to make sure I'm clear on the rules.
PG-13 or R. It's a great game. All right, you ready? Jaws?
Jaws is PG-13.
He took the wind out of his sails and you got it right.
I mean, she is right.
I just already knew that.
Did you know there's boobies in that?
Yeah.
I took my fucking kid to that movie. You understand that, Gwen?
Which was more upsetting for your kid, seeing boobies or seeing someone be eaten alive by a gigantic shark?
Hey.
The rating systems were kind of messed up.
They're messed up. They're fucking messed up.
Yeah.
I stood up in that movie like, hey, my fucking kid's here. Hey, my fucking kid's here in this theater right here. There's tits on the screen. I was so pissed, Gwen.
But you were glad because then she got eaten alive.
Yeah, when she got eaten alive, I was like, that's sin in the sea. Yeah, everybody knows. Sin in the sea is going to get you eaten. That's what my grandpa always said. He was a known liar, though, so I don't know. I don't know whether to believe it or not. He said a lot of shit to me, Dyke. He's the one that told me to eat 40 eggs.
This is more fun than a Quacker's cruise.
I don't think I should listen to him anymore.
Yeah.
No more.
I'm glad we're not video recording this one. ugly
you just
crying over here.
Did a legitimate spit take.
Oh my goodness. So point for Gwen for Jaws.
Yeah,
That's
that's
amazing.
All right. You ready for this next one?
Yeah, I think I have to be, Rocky.
Everybody can dig in on this one. This is forever. This is a party one. Family time. Exorcist. Hey, Exorcist. What was it? What was it?
I'm going to say R.
I'm going to say PG-13.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say R.
PG-13. Can you believe that? I was like, we talking about devils and demons.
That's because the vomit was just pea soup. If it had been real vomit, it would have been
Right.
rated R. But the Motion Picture Academy was like, pea soup. We'll give it a PG-13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you take your kid to see The Exorcist?
Actually, I did not for that one.
Oh.
I thought, you know what?
Did you rent it at home and watch it on?
I said, we're going to
Betamax?
watch this at home in your bedroom. Okay, when nothing can harm you. Everything's gonna be safe. We put
The lights
posters
are out.
all around. We put posters. We hired a demon because I had money back then. We hired a live professional demon in his bedroom. Just so he could be safe.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't believe Chris King doesn't like you, Rocky.
that was a lot of money
Yeah.
in therapy alone.
Yeah. He hired a demon.
We messed up. Let me tell you, it was the wrong choice. That was bad.
Well, it probably didn't help that he sleeps in a like refrigerated locker full of meat, right? Like sides of beef hanging everywhere.
Child Protective Services did not like that. We got dinged on that one.
Dinged on that one.
That was one of the first things they dinged on. I was like, hey,
it's
I
a
ain't no
health
bell.
code.
That's what I said to the Child Protective Services. I ain't hear no bell. I ain't hear no bell. That's one of my lines from one of my movies.
Yep, mhm. Do you remember which one that was from?
Oh, Gwen, I've been hit in the head so many times. CTE is not a joke. I don't even remember my movies. Did I fight the Russian in the eighth one? I don't know. I don't like Russian no more.
So 2 points, Gwen.
Oh, yeah.
You're killing it, Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah.
We were playing a game, wasn't we?
Yeah, I think we all forgot what was happening. I feel like I've been eating 40 eggs.
They'll get you. 23 or 27. It's that exact number.
But they're in the mid 20s. That's when things really
No,
start to
no,
flip.
no, not mid 20s. It's either 23 or 27. There's no mid range. You 25, you're fine. 26, you're still fine. One more? Oh, that's 27. You're hallucinating. You see chickens.
This is when the eggs take over.
You start seeing
27
chickens.
eggs.
Talking chickens. Ratatouille style.
So you're saying if I pass 27, I don't hallucinate, then I'm good for the full 40, though.
Well, once you pass 27, baby, you wouldn't.
You might as well
You
eat
chicken
40
right after
eggs.
that. Yeah, you might as well.
Okay.
Go full 40.
Did you have another question for Gwen?
I did. Gwen. This is even a movie question.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you do stand-up comedy.
Yeah, it's poorly, but yes, I do stand-up comedy.
You never do anything poorly, Gwen. You only do things to the top. I've seen your stuff. Yeah, I would like to do an impression
Okay.
of one of my favorite jokes you do.
Oh, please, I can't wait to hear this, Rocky.
Man, I have CTE. I don't remember the joke.
Oh no.
All right, this is the last movie, all right? All right. Rubber Penis 3.
Rubber Penis 3. What year did that come out?
82.
1982. I'm gonna go PG-13.
You guys, unrated.
That wasn't one of the options.
Unrated. I took my kid to that. I said, oh, all right, he needs to learn about his penis. Adolescence. And like, his rubber, they're not going to show the real thing. They do. They do. They show the whole thing. I'm talking penises and vaginas everywhere on the screen. I said, doggone it, my kid's in this movie theater.
Rocky, you're starting to sound more like like a Southern plantation owner.
Oh, my voice does that sometimes. Oh.
Like
Sometimes I don't even sound like myself. That's part of CTE. It's not funny.
it's like I'm Colonel Sanders. No.
Hey. My voice really did change a lot.
That's true. That's true. It did really change in the movie. So that is
God, that's the whole thing there.
I think we call it the 40 egg swing. That's what that was.
48 swing?
Yeah.
40 egg swing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you eat a lot of eggs, Rocky. Get it?
Wow. Rocky Balboa, everyone. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we hit another game show drop for the play out there? This has been Rated PG-13 or R
PG-13 folks. Thank you.
with your host, Rocky
Hey.
Balboa.
Hey, Jim.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Yeah, you're listening to How to Brunch. How to Brunch.
Hi, and welcome back to the after. What the heck was that we just listened to there, Gwen?
That was 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. I mean, I like that they took the classic Laffy Taffy beat and just made it real ratchet.
Reworked that. Yeah.
Where did you first hear? How were you introduced to that song?
I just heard it a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this slaps.
Yeah, it does.
The neighbors know my name. They call me oh fuck, oh shit. It's pretty brilliant.
That's great. 2 Chainz. I didn't even know he was still out there getting it.
He is
out there doing stuff.
Yep, but with both of his chains.
Yeah, both of his chains still intact.
Yep.
Still have. I feel like when you name yourself, like certain people that give their certain people, like you commit to a name, and then you really have to live up to it. I feel like 2 Chainz. You always have to have the 2 Chainz.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You see him walking around with one chain, and you're like, dude, are you okay? Do we need to call someone?
I'm always bummed out when people name there's not enough foresight when people name themselves like Kid or Little or Lil or whatever, and then they're coming out and they're a 50-year-old rapper and their name's like, like when they call like Ric Flair Nature Boy, he's old as dirt. He's older than dirt.
Yeah, you're more like Nature Pops or something like that. Yeah.
I saw they were doing a revival of Kids in the Hall, and they all have white hair.
It's going to be hard to do some of that physical comedy with a broken hip.
Yeah. And also, I'm just like, who is this for? You know what I'm saying?
It's 100% for me. Just like this episode of the podcast.
Like, I loved Mr. Show. I loved it. I think it was a brilliant piece of TV, but I feel like it just had a time and a place in the 90s. And when they brought it back and did, like, here's us now in our 50s doing a sketch comedy show. Sketch comedy is a young man's game, I feel like. I don't know.
I also felt like they tried to, with the reboot of Mr. Show, be a little too like, like a little too meta about it. And that, but yeah, that was an artistic choice on their part.
What reboots of that genre, or of anything, have you been like, yeah, they nailed it. That was good. I'm glad they did that.
I am on the wrong side of history on this, but I'm in the minority on this, but I really liked the first season of the Arrested Development reboot.
I did too.
It's okay. All right.
Where
they focused on like one character per episode.
You're right. Yeah, and all the fandom hated it.
Everyone hated it. I liked it.
I didn't think it was. I don't know if I loved it, but I definitely didn't. It was probably my least favorite but I didn't hate it. Yeah,
and if they had tried to just do Arrested Development again, like exactly the same formula as before, I think it would have failed miserably, because they, like, at the end of season 3, they were kind of already getting to the point where you're like, okay, this is too much, People don't like change.
I mean, I'm a huge like Star Trek and Doctor Who fan, and both those fandoms, a lot of
opinions.
I just don't understand, because I've been a fan since I was a child of both, and I just don't understand how you could be a fan of both. Both of them, in their own ways, are just super progressive shows about equality and about helping each other and about like the good parts of mankind. And then like, I've literally heard people be like, they don't have to beat me over the head with these messages. And I'm like, of equality.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the original Star Trek literally had aliens that half their face was black and half their face was white.
Yeah.
So entire episode about racism.
Yeah. Also, like, did they watch TV in the 80s? Like, everything was an after school special. Like, there was that, breakdown of the music where it would be like, do do do, and then, grandma would come out and give them a lesson or something.
I think people are getting mad at themselves that they're realizing that the things that they like do no longer line up with their politics. And then they get mad at the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this show didn't, like, I mean, I've watched Star Trek since, I remember going to see Star Trek movies with my family. I was like 8 years old.
Yeah, and you hate Mexicans. So it like didn't have any effect on you whatsoever.
I mean, it's a Klingon proverb that was poorly translated, but
For anyone besides me who's listening to that was totally a joke. He's very inclusive and loves everyone.
You're going to be listening back to this episode in your car and be like, why did I say that?
Was the stuff you said before the show part of the joke?
That's a callback.
a lot of accents were made. Let's just say that. Yeah, but I don't know. Good reboots. The Star Trek movies I thought were a good way to reboot it because fans are very sensitive about whatever came before being. I don't like my pretend is no longer valid.
Don't change my make believe.
And I'll be honest. I am one of those people that I invested so much time and money into this. Don't say that it doesn't count anymore.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I would say with the reboots, do you think that did you like the original on the one where Spock dies, and then they do the reverse of that with the new cast?
I hate you. You know I could go off on an entire podcast about this, and I will not. He's troll baiting me is what he's doing.
So there's an episode where Spock is the only one alive, and he's walking around like, "Hey."
It's hurting me not to go into it right now.
Well, the funny thing is I agree as well that it's funny that it's like, oh, suddenly the make believe isn't what I want the make believe to be anymore. But I do think Star Trek with the movies did so much better of a job than like Star Wars with their 3 new movies. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, because I've seen all of them, and I've seen all the old stuff and all the new stuff of both, and I can't place my finger on it why I like the new Star Trek, but I hated the new Star Wars. Like, I don't know.
Is Jar Jar Binks in the Star Trek? Weird.
Did you ever hear what happened to the actor who portrayed, like, his whole story of the actor who played Jar Jar?
No.
So I forget his name, but it was a young black dude, and he was the body and voice, I believe. And they just put like a giant Jar Jar head, and he looked through the neck, and then everyone just played to the top of the head or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was sold on being Jar Jar that he was going to be the next Chewbacca. He was like, you are going to be beloved by children for generations. Like, you're going to become part of the fabric.
Lore,
the fabric of people's childhoods. You're going to be this, that, and the other. And was really just greased up into this position of taking on Jar Jar and just thinking like he was going to be beloved, like hold on, you're gonna be
action
beloved
figures,
the rest of your life. You're gonna be an old man,
Lunchboxes.
like you won't be able to walk down the street with that. Oh, it's Jar Jar, like get out of the way, I need an autograph.
That poor guy.
The
funny thing is he had such a bad reception in the movies that, do you know how they got rid of his character later in books and comic books?
No.
So basically, and spoiler alert for the movies, if you haven't seen them at this point, after the whole like Chancellor
then
thing
you're cool
happens,
and are probably having sex right now.
exactly.
You're probably not listening to a after podcast behind a paywall.
Yeah. Not talking about Jar Jar Binks in the comic books of Star Wars lore. So he had such a bad reception that in the books and the movies, they basically blame him for Palpatine's rise because he was the one that did the emergency vote to put Palpatine in power. So the last he's heard of is he's like a clown homeless street performer and then just killed by the remaining Empire. He's just discarded on the planet. That's what they did.
Poochie was killed on the way back to his home planet.
I had also heard like a theory that wasn't he supposed to be like kind of like the mastermind behind.
I think that was more of a meme.
Okay.
Yeah, just Darth Jar Jar because they hated him so much. They just wanted him to be the mastermind before everything they hated.
Yeah. Another reboot that I think, a couple reboots I think have been super successful, animation wise, My Little Pony and She-Ra Princess of Power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're a lot like the She-Ra character is no longer like something you want to jerk off to. It's just like a normal 11-year-old girl.
I was 6 years old when I watched She-Ra, so I was just like, He-Man and She-Ra, they were pretty interchangeable. And She-Ra had better villains.
Oh, definitely.
I felt the same way about My Little Pony. It's weird for me now.
Yeah, I can't even jerk off to these cartoon horses.
Right.
Yeah. But, in terms of like coming out with like a better message or,
No, we've done the My Little Pony at our house with the kid, and it's actually some pretty good like there's a pretty good movie, and
Yeah.
I like some of the series. There's weird ones like the ones where the ponies are like teenage girls and kind of anthropomorphic like that. That one's kind of creeps me out. But
The Friendship is Magic
the
one.
proper
Yeah.
pony ones are pretty decent.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah.
I've never seen anything regarding that except for the grown men that really like it. That's where my deep dive into My Little Pony went, because those guys are
Bronies?
wild. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. I
Now,
never
are they
imagined-
different than furries? Are bronies different than furries?
I believe so.
Yes, they're different.
Yes.
So bronies are fans of the My Little Pony fandom, and they do sometimes wear costumes and
Have sex
Themed
with each other.
outfits. and
It's like a
things.
behavioral
Right.
overlap.
As
Yeah.
Like
one
they
does.
do some of the costuming and stuff, but it's very particular to that verse or whatever.
Whereas like furries, it's like the way it's been explained to me is it's kind of like these people's like alternate persona, if you will, that they it's kind of like getting to play a second character in your life as an animal, and like all of it is a lot less about sex than pop culture would lead you to believe. I mean, I don't want to say that like there's no element of like weird fur sex happening, but it's a lot of like teen kids who are just trying to like find their way in the world, or like people who are maybe neurodivergent in some way that are like, I relate more to relating to animals than I do to humans.
Were you the one that was talking about scalies, Zach?
Yeah.
Which is like a reptile.
Version of the
Furries.
furry thing.
Did they do the suits?
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah. In some, like there's like a reptile one, and then like a bird kind of,
Oh, nice.
like a whole whatever enclave of that kind of stuff.
Interesting. I have a friend, her daughter learned how to sew just because she was like so fascinated and wanted to learn how to make fursuits, and the shit she makes is incredible.
There's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, I've told her, I was like, you need to hone this ability and put up a sweatshop in your garage because your daughter could be paying for college with this.
Seriously. I go to Comic-Con and like Gen Con and stuff, and like there will be people walking around in those suits and like talking about it, and like
$50,000
it's
easily.
wild.
Yeah. If you get ones that like the tail moves and different things. Yeah. It's
ridiculous. It's insane.
I was like, I wish I had a hobby like that as I look around my podcast studio.
as I drive 15 hours to perform comedy for 4 people for $25.
I wish I had something like that would eat up all the loneliness with my life. Oh my goodness. So Gwen, you just went, and speaking of flying across the world to do comedy for 4 people.
Yeah.
You just went to the great state of Alaska.
I did. I was up in Anchorage.
And that is, as you were telling me, that's the not scary part, but that's the interesting part where you have like Aurora Borealis, and they get, do they get 30 days of night and 30 days of day depending on the year? Like half the year is really long night, the other half's really long days, right?
Yeah, so similar to here, like winter starts super early, but like it starts at noon there, or nighttime starts like noon there in the wintertime.
And they were on daytime when you
They
were
were,
there.
they were like the start of daytime, and the sun doesn't set; it just kind of like moves from right to left in the sky.
That's wild.
It's so wild. I'd be like at this bar, like, outside talking to comics, and be like, why am I so fucking tired? And it's like, oh, it's 11:30 at night, but the sun is still out.
Is every like place you stay just have like blackout curtains?
No, no. And actually, so I was talking to somebody while I was up there, and he was saying that Alaska has more murders per capita than any other state in the United States. One, because I think it would be very easy. It's very easy to get rid of a body up there. A lot of
Zach
very.
just made a knowing face.
Like, shh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You'd be surprised how
Like,
easy.
yeah. I mean, you're not very far from the middle of nowhere wherever you are there. And like the crows were like the size of chickens, like meat birds, like they're that big, so they could like pick a carcass clean, in no time. But
I gotta write this down. Hang on.
yeah, but the guy was saying, he's like, yeah, we all get like space madness up here because our nights and days get so mixed up and stuff. It is definitely a place like weird people are moving to Alaska.
Well, it's people that want to be on the kind of the fringe of society geographically.
Yeah,
And then
and mentally.
Yeah, and then you throw in the space madness on top of it.
Yeah.
Remote location. Yeah, I bet
They
it's,
say people will just like wander off into the woods in the winter and you'll never hear from him again and stuff.
Wow.
Like often enough that somebody was like, yeah, this is a thing, And like it's one of those things where it's like I'm not a gun owner, but I can see how like and I I'm very like anti-gun, but it's that's one of those places where you're like, oh, I could see maybe the need to have a gun here.
Yeah, because
all the space madness.
as a moose tries to charge into my cabin. But you could tell that the women there like are used to getting like a rough fingering, they just a lot of crab fishermen and that just sticking their paws up inside you.
This is neither here nor there, but I remember one time I had a girlfriend that asked me to requested that I wash my hands before I did that, and I was like, I never even thought about doing that.
You can wash off your genitals before you have sex too.
Slow down, spaceman.
One step at a time.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Buck Rogers.
Just like trim your nails.
I'm learning so much.
But no, like I was up there with Rena Calm, peace be upon her,
Peace be
or
upon
whatever
her.
she said about Rena. But we were just like, yeah, the whole it's a very like rapey vibe.
Oh God,
it's like,
it's not the vibe two women need on vacation.
No.
Working vacation.
Yeah.
Is it a working vacation?
It was, yeah. We were there,
for you, not for her.
She's no, this was kind of a vacation
Okay.
for her too. Yeah, we stayed a couple of days after the festival to like sightsee, and we had a spa day and all kinds of good stuff.
Now, is it one of those things that a lot of times when I've done comedy in small towns or whatever, people are just so excited that like entertainment has come to them.
Yeah, it was 100% like that. Everybody was so cool, followed you on Instagram after your set and stuff. And the bar that this festival was primarily in it took up like a whole city block, and they had just added on to it like over and over and over again, and none of the doors and like floors matched up or whatever.
Okay.
It
Just
was
Frankenstein together.
wild. Yeah, yeah. And so there would be different places or like different shows in different parts of the bar. And everyone that we like, met at like a grocery store or something, and they're like, oh, what are you in town for? We're like, oh, this comedy festival at Chilkoot Charlie's. And everybody was either like, I refuse to go there, or I'm no longer allowed to go there.
Is it because it's the only game in town?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, and I mean, I don't want to say it's the only game in town, but it's definitely like the wilder bar. Like if you're going to get turned, you're going to Chilkoot Charlie's.
Do you remember the 501 bar downtown?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. I think I walked in the door and kind of looked around once.
And you're like, don't belong here.
But I've just heard.
Did you go upstairs? At
No.
the 501?
I've heard wild stories about that
Yeah,
place where
yeah, yeah.
just like, it seemed like it was like Thunderdome.
Yeah, it was a little wild up there.
And
yeah.
it even my gay friends that went there were kind of like, oh no,
Yeah,
like it's too much for me. It's
depending on the night, it can definitely
wild stuff.
be a little much.
I feel is that kind of the vibe for some of this bar? Like wild stuff happens there, or it's just like people just go there and like, yeah, there's rules don't apply to me anymore.
I think it's a lot of like so there was a big section of the bar that was like kind of a log cabin, very much like Patrick Swayze Roadhouse style, pool tables, a stage. And they said like, back in this bar's heyday, like in the 70s and 80s, like they would just have strippers like in this room walking around, hanging out with everybody.
Sure.
And yeah, just a lot of bar fights were happening at some point in this place.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I used to work in these bars, a couple of different dive bars that I went to, and there was a while there where it became popular for strippers to come in to like struggling dive bars. Like they would basically do like instead of like bingo night or instead of karaoke, they would have strippers come, and like they got around some of the legalities of it by they would still have to wear pasties or whatever.
Yeah.
But some of those pasties got questionably small,
Yeah, or fell off at some point in the night. Yeah.
But they would sell raffle tickets. That's how they got around it. They would sell you get like a bundle full of raffle tickets.
And if they called you,
and then
name,
if you won the raffle, you got like a Polaroid picture with like a girl sitting on your lap or something like that. And that's what they would do. But I would always be working at these places, and I just
happened to be working on the night when all the off-duty strippers are coming by.
But one night I was on vacation, and I was the kitchen manager at this place, and my friend, I had gotten him a job, and he was basically doing my job while I was on vacation, and he drove this this Daewoo, which I believe was
on brand.
I believe it was a Korean car, a Korean import. And one of the strippers' disgruntled boyfriends came and threw a Molotov cocktail at her car, and it just turned into a fireball. And it apparently Daewoo's are just made out of hard plastic, and it just melted the whole passenger side of his car. It was just melted from being so hot, so close to the stripper fire.
Yeah, that's why they were so fast, because they were so lightweight.
Yeah, because they were barely made out of chocolate.
My sister and her now ex-husband used to live in an apartment, and while they were on vacation, the apartment caught on fire and it melted their cars because they were parked like right across the sidewalk from where it happened. But it's real.
Cars be melting out there. Let me tell you.
Cars do be melting.
They do. Yeah. It was a wild time. I remember when I worked at this other place, I was in the kitchen and they didn't have, I don't know why the girls didn't change in the bathrooms, but they just told them to come back and change in the kitchen. So like they were just
wonder why.
openly changing. Like,
why'd you tell them that?
That's a really weird rule.
Guys, we don't have enough room in those bathrooms.
Come change in the kitchen.
No, as you know,
I'll be chopping meat.
As you know, I used to work at a strip club, and it's very, it's amazing when I tell people that, and they're like, "Oh, wasn't it awesome?" And I'm like, you know how quickly nudity loses its appeal when you work with someone, and it's like 5 minutes. It's like 5 minutes, and then you're just completely like the
illusion is gone.
Yeah, the whole thing is like, I'm not supposed to be seeing this, and so as soon as you see somebody naked for 5 minutes, it's just like, well, we're there.
Yeah, and some woman is like asking her friend to be like, "Did I get my asshole all the way shaved or whatever?"
Oh, they're always talking about their kids. It's very much like work conversations and like, oh, like everyone's complaining that they're not making any money that day. And you're like, it's the opposite of a sexy time. Like it is just all work. And they're like, I would never get tired of boobs. I'm like, you'd be surprised how quickly. And
and it's not like you as an employee of the strip club get to like really enjoy the boobs up close and personal.
No. And I think the schedule fully nudes. I could do without the fully nude strip clubs.
Oh, a fully nude. I am a very sex positive person, and I love a good trip to the titty bar, but a full nude strip club is a lot.
I went to one. The first one I went to was in, I want to say Georgia, and Zach loves this story because I used to be a school bus driver, so I had a CDL, and truckers, and by definition of truckers having a CDL, got in for free.
Truckers in free. So
I would throw my CDL license down there, get in for free. But Georgia strip clubs had this rule where they could, like, you had to basically BYOB and then check it and then pay for it and they give it back to you, kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of the clubs down in the South, it's like they'll have almost like a mini mart attached to them where you can like go next door and buy beer or whatever.
This wasn't even that. This was like you just were supposed to like bring it from, and we're like, oh, we didn't do that. And they're like, and so then we just go in, and so it's just it was like a sober fully nude strip club. And I remember they had food, so we got, it was like breakfast food. It was like a Denny's. So we got like coffee and then moons over my hammy or something. And then I just remember this sad day shift girl came out, and I just remember she was just rail thin, naked and sad, and just came out and just did like a sad lap around this pole. And I was like, I don't like, and I'm just eating eggs, you know. And
what am I doing with my life?
This is not erotic at all.
You got to get that 23 to 27 egg.
That's when the stripping really gets good. Yeah. No, an all nude strip club, it just feels like an anatomy lesson to me. Like it's just a lot of people showing you everything.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah.
just like get up in here and look at it, you know. And I have some friends who are strippers, and when they work at like the world is experiencing somewhat of an asshole renaissance, if you will. The human asshole is very popular.
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, how I make the most money is just showing people my asshole. Like no dancing, no floor work, no nothing. It's just kneeling down, showing somebody your asshole, and then like crawling to the next guy and showing them your asshole.
It's never worked for me. I've tried so many times.
It seems like, I don't know. Now you're a nurse, Gwen. It seems like there would be a hygiene issue with some of these open assholes and open vaginas in the workplace for a 9-hour shift.
Well, I think that there's you're not on stage the entire 9 hours.
Yeah.
You do your set, then you leave, and
Oh, okay.
maybe you do a little freshen up.
Yeah. How? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how we got here. I don't know how to get out.
The asshole renaissance comes for us all.
I just why?
Why?
I can think of a million things I'd rather do at a strip club than look into someone's asshole.
Yeah. My friend sometimes goes up to work at one in Michigan, and they have a ball pit in the strip club.
Oh no!
Who's is this like part of the person doing the performance, or are the people that are watching in the ball pit? Who's in, what's the
No one's
context?
performing in the ball pit. It's just like, do you want to get in the ball pit and have a good time?
You go to jump in and you just land on top.
Because they're all stuck together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those where it's like, it's this whole separate bar, and you have to like leave the strip club, go next door to the bar to get a drink, and then come back. So she's like, yeah, I'm putting on my little bitty robe in the Michigan winter and running outside to go around to get a drink and then running back.
It's weird too, because like I worked in strip clubs before the smoking ban.
Oh yeah.
And then and the thing is like, and I don't know if it's changed now. It's been a few years, but like even for a few years afterwards, it's like a lot of strippers, at least at the bars that I went to, were smokers too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it was always like kind of the hangout when they weren't on stage is that they smoke. Well, now they go outside to smoke, and so some strip clubs have actually built like these like enclosed smoking
Elaborate
areas like
smoking
outside.
patios.
Yeah, because like sometimes you would just see them in their robes smoking outside, and like I don't know, it seems like a safety issue,
yeah.
like someone's gonna get snatched up.
Frostbite on the nip.
Yeah, or you have your open asshole out there when it's
Exactly.
30 below.
Yeah. No, nobody wants that.
Can you drop a beat for me, Zach?
This was a great episode.
I feel like I have both space madness and egg dementia.
Adrian!
Shout out to Rocky Balboa. You can find him at Thad McKee. Or Rocky will tell Thad about your plug. I don't know how it works.
Just find Rocky Balboa.
Just Google Rocky Balboa.
Look for a man with egg madness. And tell him you love Thad's podcast.
Gwen Suckle, where can people find you on social media?
Find me at Gwender Woman. That's like Wonder Woman, but with Gwen instead of Juan. Or GwenSuckle.com.
Zach Rome.
You can find me on Twitter at RealZachRo, and that's it.
And Tyler, we didn't get to play your game today, but
That's true.
We got one in the chamber.
Yeah, probably next week or something.
We'll still give you a plug. We're gonna be able to find you doing those comedy ha-has.
Yeah. So you can find me at Tyler Waltz Comedy for my personal page, or if you want to see stuff that I do every day, you can go to Nerd News with me and Tyson Cox. And then I'll be this upcoming weekend hosting at the upstairs at Helium.
Nice. And those nerd news have been really good. They've been fun.
Thank you.
I like them. I like things that are quick and digestible. And then the intros are always funny between you and Tyson doing some sort of sight gaggery. I'm at Dyke Michaels on all social media. And next time I'll be off the eggs, I promise. I'll be back on the sauce. Off the eggs, on the sauce. We'll see you next time.
Bye.